Firstly, thank you very much. That was absolutely ridiculous. We sold out in around 10 minutes. Just to clarify for the people asking, Derek, I think you're muted. If you want to unmute yourself, I'll see if I have to do that. Oh no, you're good. Yeah, so for the people asking, the early adopter list is different from what we just did. Okay, so that 20% pool is safe for the people that we allocated those heroes and energy boosters to. We're still determining what we want to do with the leftover assets for people who don't claim those assets from the list. So we'll keep people up to date with that. A quick note on gas. Gas wars, unfortunately, are a way of life. We flagged them in the post that we put out about the Wave 2 list. And we're doing everything in our power to try and mitigate what is quite an annoying part of NFT drops. And as the network and as the tech sort of scales up over time, you're going to find that these are a lot better. But for the time being, the gas that people experienced there was actually quite good. It's significantly lower than what I've seen on a number of recent NFT drops. So we're actually quite pleased with that. And I think that's testament to going live at a time that was unannounced. I think you guys will remember from the first drop we did, we went live in the morning, Sydney, Australia time. So it's currently 3:30 p.m. here. We went live at about 9:30 the first time we did it, which definitely benefited people in the US and those regions. And so this is probably a little bit more equitable. People are going to be waking up and obviously be disappointed they missed it. And then there are going to be other people who are lucky enough to be at their computers when we went live. The truth of the matter is that the demand for these assets was so great, and we realized that pretty quickly from our early adopter form. We had so many responses to that. It didn't matter when we dropped it; it was going to sell out very quickly. And I think that you guys will be pretty happy with the way that we're able to enable secondary trading on Immutable X and Token Trove. Remember that if you missed out on getting assets in this drop, you can still purchase them on the secondary marketplace. But yeah, that's, I mean, it can be frustrating if you did miss out. For the people that didn't, congratulations. But just be aware again of how early we are, A. And B, the demand for this project and the demand for these assets should fill you guys with a hell of a lot of confidence that you're in the right place at the right time. So that's kind of my first spiel. In terms of summoning, that just be aware that there may be delays with a number of these things. Transactions on MetaMask that come through are successful, but say pending on the site. Generally speaking, look at your Ether scan as the source of truth on that. If it has been a successful transaction, that means that the transaction is successful. It has worked. As a rule of thumb, my personal advice is never refresh these things. It doesn't matter what it is. And also the new way that MetaMask works and with these new drops is that with gas fees, you let the transaction go through, even if you don't get the asset, because you'll end up not losing as much gas as what is nominated, in my experience. In terms of, I see a couple questions in general about why is it sold out, though we had a guarantee for what we signed up for. Just to reiterate, from the early adopter whitelist, if you are on that list and you pay for your assets to the nominated secure wallet addresses that we have in that spreadsheet, which is in announcements, you will get those assets. All right, they're safe, they're yours. That pool has been set aside for you guys. Today was the public sale. It was going to sell out like hotcakes no matter what, which is exactly what happened. So just be aware that's right. There was a limit on purchase quantity. There was a max 25 per transaction for people.
I think the max was 100.
Oh, was that with the direct interaction? So there was a limit purchase, just to clarify for people who are wondering about that. And again, remember, even if you missed out on buying here, secondary marketplace will be live and active. You can go and still snap up assets that you want, for whatever reasons you may want them. I'm not going to give any financial advice, but we are relatively pleased with the way that drop went. Gas was low in comparison to most NFT drops that have happened recently. Obviously, not every person is going to be happy with the proceedings and the events, but that is the nature of the way that this space works, unfortunately. But with the early adopter whitelist, the way that we've been able to ensure distribution, and we will publish distribution as we did with Wave 1, we think that we've done relatively well here. There was a limit to purchases, just to clarify, guys. It wasn't a free for all. There was a limit to purchases. Des, I'll hand the floor to you if you want to add anything on top of that.
I think one of the things I'd say, we're looking to ultimately move away directly on Ethereum, instead doing sales on immutable X, which means that there isn't any gas at all spent in the sale, and it allows us to do more creative things that aren't be easily bypassed direct connected smart contract. So we've already started working on this, but it's going to be before we can implement it. We are looking to do it for future sales. Maybe should we go through some of the questions that people have as well?
I can. Des, maybe do you want to use push to talk? You were a little bit staticky and breaking up a bit there. Um, the
Yeah.
TLDR of what Derek said there is that
Oh,
I, oh, you want to go again? You can repeat that.
sorry. Could you catch me before?
We missed bits and pieces.
Oh, okay. I was just basically saying that in the future we're going to be looking to shift to immutable X. So to directly selling on immutable X, which will remove these gas wars and gas fees altogether. We've currently started working on it already, um, but it's still going to take some time before it's ready.
Yeah, cool. Let me just go through general and find a couple of questions that we can answer. Your heroes that you've bought will be in summoning, all right? When they are minted onto Immutable X, they won't appear in your collection. It's the same thing that what happened with Wave 1, all right? So your assets aren't missing. Once you mint them, they go onto Immutable X, and they'll also be visible on Token Trove, which are our only two sanctioned secondary marketplaces at the moment. A reminder, Immutable X is gas-free minting and trading, okay? Something that I want to quickly reiterate is that NFT gaming at the moment, part of the best part of being early is that you have access to all these communities, and you have access to all these different groups, and you are early, and you'll look back in 5 years and say, I was one of the first people in this space. The way that NFT drops work at the moment, it's not perfect. No one will say it's perfect, right? People people can't always be satisfied and looked after, unfortunately. Again, to clarify, there were purchase limits on transactions. I understand if people say it's frustrating when someone goes and gets more stuff and scoops up a lot of the load. There were purchase limits, just to clarify for everyone. Um, Moving on from that, going into another question, a few other questions.
I think
Iron Box,
yeah,
are you gonna go?
one thing I've noticed as well is I think we have a lot of new faces who have just joined, potentially during this purchase as well, for Guild of Guardians. So I just wanted to direct some of you to find out more information about the project. So a bit about us is that our goal is to disrupt the gaming industry. We want to create a really fun and compelling mobile game, which is play and earn. And we've been working on this for the past year, and we're not stopping. This is kind of only the beginning of our journey. Um, so the game is going to come out early next year on mobile, and we're very excited for it. We've been kind of internally playtesting it already. A lot of work to go, but we're very excited to kind of continue working on this and continue growing out the community. So kind of to everyone who's joined us recently, big welcome. If you want to find out more information about us, you can visit some of the official links. We have a channel there, such as a website and white paper. Um, and make sure we've also had a lot of scams recently, so make sure to only click on links in that channel and try to avoid anything through direct messages or anything else like that.
Yeah, and for people who are new, you can go and look at our website. We will have a sort of updated white paper up there soon. Learn more about the project, learn more about what we're doing. But just to clarify, we've been building this for quite a while. This isn't an NFT project that's dropping and it's come up with something and see how it goes. We're very clear about what we want to do, and we're very grateful and blessed to have you guys as part of the community, particularly new faces, but also to our old and really early members of the community. It's validation for you guys having belief in the vision. Um, so yeah, congrats to everyone who's here, and there's a lot to look forward to moving forward. Let me just look at a couple of these questions. Summoning, if you purchased, your transactions are successful, your assets will appear in summoning. If they're not there at the moment or there is a delay, just give it some time. Once you mint things onto Immutable X, they're not going to be visible in your collection. Just to clarify for everyone, they won't be visible in your collection. They'll be visible on Immutable X and Token Trove, the two secondary marketplaces. look in official links in our Discord channel for links to both of those places. Do not get scammed, okay? We will never DM you. We will not talk to you about these things. We won't ask for payment. We won't do any of that stuff. So check the official links if you want to go and look at the secondary marketplaces. Um, how to tell if it's a legendary? It will say on the actual summoning. It will tell you what asset you've got. So there's different rarity tiers that you can summon, and you have a small percentage of getting a sort of unique edition of the hero that you get, if that makes sense. Um, there must be another wave. We will have another wave for pets and our rare heroes. So that will come at some point. We don't have a date for that yet. This is the other thing. We will do what we did with Wave One. We did a pretty in-depth and thorough retro from Wave One, and we will learn from it, and we'll say this worked, this didn't work. The unannounced drop, as we've said, it's not going to satisfy everyone, but you guys actually would have saved a lot on gas. Believe it or not, gas fees for this were actually quite low. Um, Rarity distribution, we'll publish distributions once we get those data sets out, same as we did with the first. Um, what else have we got?
List of editions. So, whenever you purchased for the Epic Heroes, you had first of all a 5% chance to get upgraded to a legendary. So that was the probability there. And then for each hero, there are three different cosmetic variations that you might have gotten. So there's a 10% chance of getting a warrior, a 2% chance of getting an elite, which I've noticed someone has just shared, and then there's a one of one mythic for each hero. I don't know how many of those have been found. I would have to check.
The A couple of people saying, for example, I feel cheated because there was no announcement and suddenly all the heroes were sold out. As we said, we were going to do this at an unannounced date. It's what we've seen really clearly with recent NFT drops is if it's like, hey guys, we're going live on this date and time, the network gets super duper congested. Gas fees become extremely high. We're talking, upwards of sometimes $1,000 US, which is just ridiculous, as you guys would know. And it doesn't benefit anyone. So doing it at an unannounced time and at a time that was different from the first wave that we dropped is something that we're pretty happy with. It definitely creates a little bit more equity because, again, we're not dropping at the same time and benefiting the same time zones as our first wave. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, as we said, there are always going to be people who miss out. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you've got a project that is in very high demand. People will miss out, and that's the way it is, unfortunately. Just a reminder that the secondary marketplace is alive and they will be good to go. So you can go and get the things that you want if you are desiring them. Again, not financial advice, but they're there for you, and that option is there.
One thing to note as well is that when we're designing these drops, we're not looking to sell as much as possible. Um, and so we do want people who buy to kind of for these to be scarce. And so we're not trying to, sell them for as much as possible. That's why in some cases the gas fee might even be as much as the hero itself, in some purchases. We just want these to be distributed to as many people as possible. Um, and we want to kind of for our early adopters to be rewarded. And that's kind of one of the key pillars of what we're all about.
And yeah, just a reminder: that what we're selling at the moment, these heroes are founder edition, and these will never be created or sold again. So the number that we've released and will be out in the community, they're different from what will be sort of playable in game and sort of constructible in game. So these are a little like tip of the hat almost to the people who have been with us early and are with us now. Um, Again, a few people saying the announcement should have come out a day prior. It would have defeated the purpose because, again, people would have just rushed on and gas fees would have been completely prohibitive. No, it's not available on OpenSea. Again, it's on Immutable X. That's where you'll see there's gas-free minting and trading, which is a big win. We're very proud of that, and that's a piece of technology that we're pretty stoked to be building on. Today's gas was a steal. Drop was smooth. Yep, I think that's pretty fair. We're pretty happy with what's happened, to be honest. Um, when will early adopters get their heroes, and will those in the early adopters still need to mint them on Immutable X? Any news on the appeal forms? Any time frame? Good questions. Appeal forms, we put that out this morning. Head to announcements regarding the early adopters whitelist. It's got nothing to do with the public sale. We will get back to those. We've said about 1 to 2 weeks. Again, we need time to wash out what we've just done, and then we'll circle back on those. Those assets are safe for those people. And for the people who have legitimate appeals, we'll look after them. Um, and when early adopters get their heroes, we said 1 to 2 months. We're just finalizing a tool that allows us to distribute those, which will be really cool technology. So we just got to finish that up, make sure that the assets are secure and safe, which is number one priority before we get them out. But again, those on the early adopters list, your assets are safe as long as you pay within the correct window. Will Wave 3 be the same? Not sure. That's the beauty of the game. We're going to keep adapting and we're going to keep sort of tweaking things as we need to try and make it better for more people. We may look like bad guys if you missed out on getting what you wanted today, but we're not. We are very much like in this for 10, 20, 30 year play. We care a lot about looking after you guys. We really do. So bear with us. We'll do a proper retro as we did for Wave 1, and hopefully Wave 3 will be better than Wave 2. But we we changed some things up today, and we are pretty stoked with the way it went. Did referrals work? Yes, the referral program will work if you use the URL that was given to you by someone else, and you inputted that into the URL bar and hit enter, and then used that interface. Then it would have worked. Um, what else have we got? To let people buy bulk purchase is unfair. Unfortunately, guys, that's kind of the standard at the moment. It saves people gas, to be honest with you, to be able to purchase in bigger transactions and have one transaction fee and one gas fee. Obviously, there are some people who are going to have the scope and the budget to purchase more. That's their prerogative. That's their right, unfortunately. But again, we will publish a distribution list, and you guys can see how healthy it is because we're going to be pretty happy with it, I think.
Yeah, one thing I'll
Um,
say is that the way we created the contract was that it cost the same regardless of what you bought. And so even if you bought multiple energy boosters and multiple epic heroes, the gas cost was the same. And one of the benefits of designing it like this, so usually how it works in other contracts is at scale. So with every additional NFT you pay additional gas. And one of the benefits of us designing it this way is that overall, the gas cost is actually a lot lower for a drop like ours, which means a lot less of it goes to miners. People purchased it for less. And it also means that people are probably willing to sell them for cheaper than if they had paid higher gas costs for them on the secondary market. So I think overall, um, allowing people to pay less gas fees should also reduce those prices on secondary markets and make it more accessible for everyone as well.
Cool. 60 more seconds. A lot of early adopter questions. We'll answer them separately. Have a look at FAQ and announcements earlier to learn a bit more. Um, Early adopters, we'll get there. Kenny, no, I said the early adopters, yeah, NFTs in 1 to 2 months. Wave 2 chat, I was talking about responses to early adopter appeal forms. Um, what else have we got? Derek, do you want to quickly explain gems and the eighth kickback on give 5%, get 5%?
Yeah, so we created a smart contract referral system, which means that if someone purchases using their share link, then the referrer gets 5% of what's spent, and the person who uses the code gets 5% off. And so kind of total 10% off. And so anyone who used that is able to get a 5% discount immediately. And any referrers, so if you referred your friend, you're able to withdraw your referral bonuses from the contract. And we've got a separate guide for that in Medium, if anyone can link that, which was used for Wave 1. I think in total, like $250,000 worth of referrals were in Wave 1. So hopefully people had time to use it. Um,
Beautiful. I
yeah.
think that covers off most questions. I'm going to leave slow mode on for a little while. Again, I think the demand and the amount of people who are here is kind of indicative of the fact that what we're doing is on the right path, and you guys are all in a really exciting space. So stick with it, stick at it. Have a look at the secondary market if you want to, not financial advice. Um, but other than that, it's a very exciting time. Thank you all for your patience and your help, and it's on to bigger and better things for us. So we're going to get back to work and look into a few things, get some stuff out. But other than that, we appreciate you all, and until next time.
Yeah, thanks everyone. If you have any questions, we'll try to get to them over time. But we,
Yeah.
we know there are probably a lot.
And please don't flood my DMs. My fingers are very sore. But yeah, always good chatting. Alrighty, tights. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll speak later.
All right, see you all. Bye.
Bye.